All right, so as you can see, right, today, right, will be kind of our last lesson, all right, for the P5 tutorial. All right, and there's one more lesson, which is this lesson, all right, and this lesson is a little bit about problem sums and all this. So I last checked, right? None of you did the worksheet, I saw Corinne. Corinne went in to download the questions, I think. All right, but she never answered the question. Let me check again. Sorry, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. So Corinne and Brian, I saw that you participated in the worksheet. Wow. Sorry, my mistake. My apology. Because just now, like 3 hours ago, right, I tried to log in. Then none of you did your work. All right, I'm so proud of you, Brian and Corinne. Thank you so much.
At 2:30, that's
Yeah, 2:30. So 3 hours ago was at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, I never see anything. Right, so I make an assumption. I'm so sorry. I make a bad assumption. I'm so sorry. All right, but at least you're still willing to participate in the worksheet. Wow, I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so today we'll be going through these few questions. After that, we'll have a little bit of Kahoot. All right, so there'll be only 2 person I see. So let's see who will be the, the number one. All right, and then after that, we'll continue with some extra questions. Okay, actually the extra question will be in between lah. All right, will be in between some of the questions here. Corinne, can you understand my English? Okay, all right. I know that the exam is over. Then why are you here? I know, I totally understand. All right. So this is just the last lesson. So we just try to do math a bit more lighter. All right. Have a bit of we do math a bit lightheartedly. All right. Then you can see that actually, right, if you don't put too much stress for yourself, right, you can actually do quite well also. All right, so chill a bit, just listen. All right. So when I ask you to participate in some questions, just try your best. All right, and everything will be okay. All right. All right. So Corinne, can I just check with you? Are you coming for the next few lessons? There's something called the logic and reasoning. There's something called the pre-lessons into P6. No, don't know. Okay, don't know, is it? Right, because there's still lessons continuing. And just to let you know, Corinne, that I'll be taking over the P6 class onwards. Right, so I'll be conducting the logic and reasoning lesson. I'll be conducting the pre-lessons into P6, and I'll be conducting the primary 6 lessons also. All right, so if you happen to sign up next year, you'll be able to see more of me lah. All right. Okay, come. Let's go into the lesson, the worksheet. Come. All right, Corinne, I'm still waiting for your score. I mean, if you can remember, you can key in. All right, but if you are shy, don't want to say, then it's okay also. All right, I respect all your privacy and all this. I'm just curious. All right, because Brian told me his score. So I think that it's fair to ask you. Okay, anyway, all right, your choice. Okay, come. So we are going into this thing called the paper 2. Paper 2 is more on the problem solving. And children can use calculator. All right. And the first question, oh my goodness, both of you got it right. All right, good job. Your answer is 4.925. All right. Actually, this type of question I don't like one, you know. All right. Actually, this type of question I don't really like. All right. But the thing is, it's important. All right. And I just want to tell you something, children. All right. I need you to know this method. All right. I know that both of you know. I know that both of you got the right answer. I saw the record. Both of you got the right answer. But I just want to introduce this method. All right. If your teacher have taught you that, it's good. If not, then can you just please listen? It works for all these type of question. Right? It works for all these type of question. This is something called what? Oh, hey, Corinne, not bad. Wow, Corinne, seriously. All right, Brian got 1 mark more than you. But not bad, not bad. All right, so Brian, sorry, I just say out your score. All right, so Corinne got 78 and you got 79. I'm so sorry. I know that I'm supposed to keep it private, but the thing is, you guys really did very well. Anything that is 75 and above is very good already, seriously. Children, I touch my heart. All right, for P5, anything above 75 is very good already. And both of you are close to 80. All right, which means that you are very close to AL2 already. All right, it's not super bad, Brian. It's not. Don't say that. All right, many of you, yeah, it is very close to your AL2. All right, AL2, which is 85 above actually. All right, so it's attainable. So actually, I was telling Brian that primary 6, right, your mid-year exam, try to aim for the AL2, aim for the 85%. Then PSLE, you aim for the AL1, which is 90% and above. It's possible. It is possible. All right. So you have to believe in yourself. All right. Both of you did well. Seriously, I think so. All right. I'm going to tell Miss Susan about your score. I don't care. Let her be happy for a while. Can? Seriously. For P5 to score this type of grades is very good already. Long time ago, my P5 all score like around 60 something, 50 something. All right. So they got more chances of improvement. You also, all right, you have to at least improve by a 5% for your P6 mid-year exam. Aim for that. 5% only, come on. Just get rid of your carelessness, right? I think you can get 85% easily. Okay? So
I
don't
always
worry about it.
miss steps.
Sorry?
I always either add too many steps or too less steps.
Okay, Brian, just to let you know, right, the steps, right, for PSLE, right, is okay. So you got certain way of doing things, you got more steps, you got less steps. The steps make sense and you get the final answer, you get your full marks. So don't worry about that.
No, like I did extra steps. Actually, I got my answer, but then like I add more. Or
Oh
I
my goodness,
did
then Brian,
less.
that is carelessness really. All right, so you have to answer the question, Brian. For example, people ask you, hey, what do you eat for lunch? I went to McDonald's, I have 3 apple pie, I play with my friend, after that, I go to the toilet. Huh? Brian, just answer the question. I had 3 apple pies at McDonald's, full stop. You don't tell me all the other stories, I'm not interested. Understand or not? So you have to answer directly to the question. People ask for red marbles, you have to give the number of red marbles. Don't give black marbles. Oh, so children, please. I think you guys are very good. It's just that sometimes carelessness sit in. All right. Okay, come. So this one, right? This question, right? Let me just talk a little bit about it. Just a quick one. This type of question is actually linked to something called gaps and difference. All right, which is a very important concept in primary 5, primary 6. If this is your first time listening to gap and difference, right, in future you will hear me say more of this. Hey, what is gap? Gap means down here lah. How many, how many holes are there? All right, gap means like there's a hole down here, right? So 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gap, 6 gap, 7 gap, 8 gap. Oh, so total there's 8 gaps, you see? So down here, the total got 8 gaps.
The
Okay.
difference will be one more because is it
No, okay. So the meaning of difference, right? The meaning of difference means big minus small. Just know this. All right, Sec 1 also, they'll teach you the same thing. The meaning of difference means big minus small. What is the big number? 5.0. What is the small number? 4.8. All right, and down here, what do you have? Oh, I love primary 5. You know why? Because you can use your calculator. Da, 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 da. I love my calculator. Okay, sorry. All right, so your difference will be what? 0.2. Can you see or not? So down here, right? Down here, the entire thing got 8 gaps. Down here, the entire thing, the difference is 0.2. All right, this method is called gap and difference. All right, so gap and difference, right? They can come in different forms, just to let you know. This is one way they will ask. So what do you see? You see that the 8 gaps, right, actually represents the what? The difference of 0.2. All right, because you're talking about the same distance. So the 8 gaps actually represents the 0.2. Always look for the 1. 1 gap is equal to? This is something called rate. All right, this is something called rate. Do you know what's the meaning of rate? In primary 5, you learn rate. Rate is actually a what? A comparison of 2 quantities. Sure. What do you mean? Okay. For example, a very quick example. 2粒苹果4块钱，1粒苹果 answer? Oh, you all don't know how to speak Chinese,
2块钱。
Thank you, Brian. Hey, Corinne, you can speak Chinese or not? Okay, just checking. So, 2 apples, $4. 1 apple, $2. So this is called rate. And when we talk about 2 different quantities, we are talking about what? We are talking about 苹果, APPLE versus what? Money. Can you see not? It's 2 different quantities. All right. So we are talking about apples and money. So that's the meaning of using a rate by comparing 2 different quantities. So this is something called rate also. All right. So 8 gaps is 0.2. How do I get to 1 gap? Sure, divide by 8. Smart. If you do that on the left, you must do that on the right. This is called what? Fatness. No, sorry. Fairness. This is called fairness. Not fatness. I'm fat. But yeah, sorry. 0.2 divided by 8 is equal to 0.025. 0.025. All right. So every gap is 0.025. That means this one is 0.025. Do you know that? Every one of these is 0.025. So the arrow is pointing to where? The arrow is pointing to here. That means I need 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gaps. I need 5 gaps to get to the arrow. Correct or not? All right, I need 5 gaps to get to the arrow. So I purposely find 5 gaps. How? 1, how to get to 5? Times 5. What must you do? Times 5 also. Woo! Use your calculator, just put in times 5. All right, you get 0.125. Huh? Sure. How come you want to fight? No. 0.125. 1 to 5 is like 0.125, right? You get it? You're like very serious, you know.
125.
125, right? 125 is 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so 5 gaps is 0.125. So down here must plus 0.125. Okay? Hey, don't challenge your friend to fight. No good. All right, so plus 4.8, your answer is 4.925. And therefore, you all got your answer as 4.925. Okay? So this is the way I'll do it. I'll call this gap and difference. So in future, when you hear me say the word gap and difference, right, at least you understand my concept here. All right, it's very, very popular. It's very, very easy to handle. All right, and when I look at this 0.125, right, it just remind me something. So can you please write this somewhere? All right, this is I call this the magic 4. Sure, no, spell magic. Okay, magic 4. This is called the magic 4. All right, something important that you got to remember. Ken, the first one, right, is called the 1/4. All right, the second one is called the 1/2. The third one is called the 3/4. And the last one is called 1/8. All right, so 1/4, right, can be written as a ratio. We write it as 1:4. 1/2, we can write it as a ratio. We can write it as 1:2. 3/4, we can write it as a ratio, 3:4. And 1/8, we can write it as a ratio, 1:8. And not over yet. 1/4 can be written as a decimal, 0.25. 1/2 can be written as a decimal, 0.5. 3/4 can be written as a decimal, 0.75. And 1/8 can be written as a decimal, 0.125. So just now I was remembering this. All right, 0.125 is actually 1/8. All right, and the last one as a percentage. 1/4 is 25%. Half is actually 50%. 3/4 is actually 35%, yes. And last one is 12.5%. This is called the magic 4. Why? Because got 4 things that you got to remember for me. Right? 1/4, half, 3/4, and 1/8. And there are 4 conversions that you need to know. Right? Which is a fraction, ratio, decimal, and percentage. Children, let me tell you why you must remember this for me. Ken? Right? Simple reason is because your teachers, right, they are so uncreative. They always ask for the same one. They always ask for the same fractions. All right. They always ask for the same percentage. So they are very not creative. They always ask the same question. So every time they ask, right, that is related to this, you know immediately. All right. So this is actually the conversion, which is very important, children. Right. So you remember things that the teacher always asks. You got to be smarter than them. All right, not? Got to be smarter than them. All right. So you remember it, then you can be faster. Can? So only these 4 that you have to write down. All right. Okay. Usually, right, the rest of the students don't come out. Is it the Xing Yi, Xing Rui, and the Javin? Is it Javin? Have you seen them before?
They got come out, but then now, for some reason, they don't come out.
Oh, okay. So usually they will come, but today they never come. Okay, maybe because it's the last lesson, I don't know. They might attend other
Be lazy.
class. I don't know.
Be lazy.
I don't know. You don't say that, Brian. You don't say that. You cannot jump into conclusion. Like me just now. Right. You all did your work, but I jumped into conclusion. I see that you all never do. It's my fault. Right. Because